Okay, so Tyler Perry did his rendition of P Valley. It's like you could tell it's about to be a good thing, but then it's like a little bit lower quality. It held my interest though. There's not many good shows on, and it's ratchet as hell though. I ain't gonna lie. It's like P Valley meets Divorce in the Black, literally, because a lot of the characters was from Divorce in the Black. It starts off with a woman named Kimmy, and she wants to go to school and get a scholarship and everything else. So she's trying to figure it out. And her best friend sits there and says, "We just gonna be hoes for the rest of our life." And I'm like, "Excuse me? Way to go, best friend." I mean, I have aspirations and stuff, and my best friend is telling me that we just gonna be hoes. I'm like, here we go, Tyler Perry. Here we go. So with the giveaway scholarship, you meet this woman named Mallory. Mallory seems like she got everything going on. And I'm sitting there looking at her on stage because she's giving out this $1 million scholarship. And, her hair, everything's perfect. And she's like, and the person that announces her is like, "You got the perfect husband," and all that stuff. And I'm like, yo, watch when this girl get off the stage. I bet you she's going to be a whole terror. This did not let me down. She gets off stage and she start cursing about the nappy-headed baby that she picked up. Like, Tyler Perry really knows how to throw insults. I wonder, is that how he feel about us? I don't know. I'm just saying. Because he's throwing around that word nappy a lot lately. So Mallory's upset she's giving away money. She's tired of playing nice. And she plays nice very well and phony in front of everybody else except her assistant and her husband, because it seemed like her very own family believes that she's nice too. And I'm like, ew. Now we get back to the strip club with Kimmy and Rain, and then you meet this girl called Body. Body, yada, 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 yada. So apparently Kimmy and Rain has a pimp named Jules. Body is supposed to be in charge when Jules is not around. So she likes to assert her power. Only thing is, she's a hoe too. For whatever reason, she can't stand Kimmy. And the reason I think she can't stand Kimmy is because Kimmy doesn't kiss her behind like everybody else. Or she doesn't sit there and say, "Oh my gosh, you got your butt injections done. High five." She's the only one that's like, "I'm not for all of this." So whatever it is, it drives Kimmy up a damn wall. Because Kimmy got it out for her. And it's not even that she's a better dancer, because Kimmy don't even want to dance. She don't like it there. However, Body's pretty much only nice to anybody that is excited for Body. So Rain looks up to Body and she's like, "Oh yes, girl, I need to get like you." So Body's like, "I know a girl, she's going to charge cheap and she'll get you together. Inject silicone or whatever that girl's going to inject in her." And she was like, "You know what? She'll even come to your own place." And I'm like, come to your own place? She probably don't have an office to go to. That's probably why she's going to come to you. They give us the backstory on Kimmy. So what happened was Kimmy's mother's complete garbage. Like, she needs to be thrown away and left out there forever. She abandoned her daughter because her man can't stop looking at Kimmy. So she says to her daughter, "Girl, you got to go." And kicks her daughter out, homeless, nowhere to go. That's when Kimmy meets Rain. So let me tell y'all, when you're a victim of anything, whether it be abuse or whatever, like the first person that makes contact and is really nice to you is the person that you're like kind of attached to. So that's why she has like some sort of attachment to Rain. Because when she had nothing, that is where she met Rain, and Rain took her under her wing. So for that, she's extremely grateful. So we see this guy named Roy requesting Kimmy to go to the house. So Kimmy's up in the house. She don't want to be there. This dude, he be throwing around a whole bunch of bees. Again, I think this is Tyler Perry's way of getting off every bad word he want to say to a black female. I don't know, but he just hands out hands full of insults when it comes to women. So Kimmy's not happy to be there. So while Roy's in the shower, for whatever reason, Kimmy yells, "Call my wife," into his cell phone. And Mallory, but she doesn't know this is Mallory, the person that she looks up to at this point. So the phone dials his wife and she's listening to everything. Roy comes back in and he's sleeping with Kimmy, and the wife hears all this stuff. Mallory is so pissed off because she's on the other line and she's like, "Yo, let me go find out where this ninja is." So she jumps in the car. She's pissed off. How about your girl take somebody down the block with her? She hits somebody and takes them right on down the block. And she's more upset that the person was in her way than the fact that she actually did damage to a person. She leaves the person on the road. She ends up going home, and her husband comes in later. And she's like, yo, did you come to the main road? And he's like, why? Why would you ask me that? And he's all pissed off and stuff like that. And she's like, listen, because that's her personality. If you don't know, I'm not saying nothing. And I will never repeat that I did something out of my mouth. So after they were arguing, because she's like, listen, who were you with? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he's like, you know what? I got a present for you. So he goes to the car, and we find out that the person that she ran over in the car is in her husband's car. He's like, I knew your dumb ass left this person on the side of the road. So she's upset, and she is cursing him out. But she ain't taking accountability for that. But she's like, yo, we got to go handle this now. Like, get rid of her. I don't know what. Maybe we should drop it off in the middle of the hood. Somebody's going to take the car, and they get blamed for the situation. Because they shouldn't have tried to steal my car anyway. The husband is like, nah, let's just call Jules. Jules is the security guard, head of security for the family that takes care of all and everything, including this. And this is normal behavior for him. She's like, nah, I don't want him involved. She wants as little people as possible, and she's tired of Jules knowing everything about this family. So she's like, listen, he's not gonna have nothing on me. So they get in the car, decide that they're gonna go drive and come up with her plan to drop the car off in the middle of the hood. And in the middle of that, they get pulled over, and the cop smells liquor on her husband's breath, who is driving, and he takes the husband to jail. Meanwhile, they know a lot of people, judges, everything. They're unable to contact somebody at that time, so the car got to get towed as well, because she can't drive, because she already admitted that she was drinking also. So guess what? They got to call Jules anyway. And Jules is like, what happened? She's like, Roy hit her. Like, out of her mouth is always Roy did it. And even when she speaks to Roy from now on out, you will hear her say, you did it. You did it. Like, she will never say that she did it. Which it only means that she don't trust not one person in that family, including her husband. So meanwhile, Kimmy get home to see Rain passed out because body done messed her up. They injected her with all of this stuff, and she's not waking up. So Kimmy's like, yo, let's go to the hospital. Because she's like, yo, you got to take pills. But they didn't know what pills to take. It wasn't labeled. It didn't say how many times, what they supposed to take, nothing. So Kimmy's like, we got to go to the hospital. So Body is calling at the same time. And she's like, yo, Body, what did you do? This girl ain't waking up. Body's like, hold on, I'm coming. Don't go to the hospital. If you do, you're going to get arrested because we're blaming this on you. And I'm going to make Jules make the charges stick. So Kimmy's pissed off because her best friend needs medical attention and nobody gives a F. And I'm like, I'll be damned. Body comes in with the person that messed up her body. But if you look at the person's body that messed up Kimmy's body, I would have been like, nah, you can't touch me, because she looked like she got silicone in her lips also. So I'm like, I would have been like, don't touch me. But so they come back in and they are collecting all the stuff that they left at the hotel. The dude that came with them is wiping everything down, and I'm just watching them, and they're like, yeah, she'll be all right, and they're leaving the scene. Meanwhile, they wiped all their fingerprints and everything. It means that they think that she might not make it, and they telling Kimmy still, don't take her to the hospital. Like, they act like women are just disposable, and that is very disgusting and sickening on their behalf. But I know they're characters, but I just want to say karma's a B. Because there is really people out here that's like that. Kimmy don't give a damn. She's like, I'm about saving these lives. So she takes her homegirl to the hospital anyway. Jules finds out that's supposed to be the pimp, and he runs over to the hospital and meets Kimmy while she's coming back out of the hospital after dropping her homegirl off. He told her, don't step back in the hospital again. So then she goes back to the club and she's dancing, and they're like, yo, this old guy wants you. Apparently she's like the worst dancer and the most undesirable in the club because she does not like it. And, people are like, I don't want somebody that don't want to dance dancing for me. But so this guy calls her over because he really could care two hells about her dancing. He's not even into women right now. It's like, older guy. He's clearly in the closet and he would prefer a male dancer, but he needs a cover. So she's like, you want to dance with him? And he's like, all insulted and pissed off. He gets mad, throws money at her, and walks out. Mind you, the next night later, he comes back again, requests Kimmy, and he takes her up on her offer. And he's like, yeah, have him come, because he's using her to make it seem like he's getting a dance from a female. But really, he came there to get a male. So he's like, listen, I want to take you up on that offer. I would prefer the person to dance for me, but I don't want nobody to know. So could we meet up at your place? And I'm looking at her like, why would you meet this stranger at your place? Are you kidding me? What are we doing here? That is not safe for you. But she's like, yeah, come to my house. And he gives her some money and stuff like that. He says he's on a fixed income, but I'm looking at him, and something about him is telling me that he is not what he seems, and that he has more money than what it seems to be. But he's very trusting of her because she felt bad for him and didn't take all his money. And she was like, I could get him to do it for $500. So he tips her on the side, and she goes to the guy's name is Angel, and she's like, listen, I got $500. He wants to dance. Angel's like, I'm straight. She looked at him like, dude, please. When you're not drinking. And he's like, well, I wouldn't even do it for that low. She's like, yeah, whatever, you would. He turns back, changes his mind, and he's like, all right, where's he at? So she was like, you got to meet him back at my house later tonight. So they go back. He dances for like 2 minutes, and the guy is sick. He starts coughing, the older guy. And Kimmy got to take him back to his house. I'm like, we're doing a whole bunch of strange things. So now, not only does Kimmy allow you at her house, you want this girl that we don't know, and we don't even know if she has a driver's license, to drive you to your mansion when you're completely in the closet, but you have this much trust for her, and you let her in your house, and she tucks you in. And she's looking around at your pictures and everything. I'm like, okay, Tyler Perry. So she sees that he knows her pimp. He knows that woman, Mallory, that she was admiring, and that man that is so violent to her, that keeps ordering her to sleep with him. So after she drops him off, he's like, yo, you could take my car. It's my lawnmower's car. And I'm like, are you serious? So he tells her that she got to come bring him his watch back. And I get it. He's so lackadaisy because he actually really is a boss. And he knows that if she does anything stupid, he's definitely going to come after her. So I believe that's why he's not that worried. Meanwhile, your Princess Mallory, we're going to call her Princess because that's what the hell she act like, a spoiled brat princess. She finds out that it is her uncle-in-law's wife that she took out, almost. And that she is alive and she's in the hospital fighting for her life. Mallory is like, oh, well, she was old anyway, so she lived her good life. She has no sympathy and she's unapologetic. And her husband's looking at her like, damn, I thought I was a savage. You slept in your bed, comfortable, like nothing ever happened. So now you see their uncle, Mallory's uncle-in-law, Norman, going to visit his wife in the hospital. He is pissed because he want to know who left my wife laying there like a dog. And because it is such a private community and the only people that will come up and down the road is family, he know one of them ninjas did it. And he knows Olivia, which is Roy's mother and Charles' mother, but we didn't meet Charles yet. But she is the mother of Roy. Her kids are out of control and always drinking and driving and acting a fool. So he's like, it's definitely one of those ninjas. So Norman goes and meets up with Olivia. She at church all in white, like she's a pastor. And I'm like, oh, praise the Lord. All in white, right? I'm like, cut the bullshit. Your freaking kids are the spawn of Satan. No way. No way. I'm not buying this. I'm looking at her like, I'm not buying it. But she look all nice and clean and stuff. And I'm like, so now Norman done told her that he is on a tirade and he's pissed off. She better find out who did it. So Olivia goes and she goes and visits Charles. This is where we meet her son, Charles. Now, he's sitting up there in a glass window. He ain't straight. So he's doing whatever he does, or whatever he does it with. And she's seeing everything because his house is made out of glass. And she's walking in and she wants to know if he hit, I don't know why, but she has a lot of energy for him. And it really wasn't even him. But he definitely was high and drinking, but he wasn't driving. She came in and she checked on his cars and everything. And it's a weird dynamic because her other son, Roy, she doesn't have that same energy for. And it came out of his house. But she yells at Charles, and Charles is like, listen, it was not me. Like, I'm reckless, but I ain't that reckless. But check this out. When she gets to the son's house, she's all in black. What happened to the white? What happened to the Miss Pastor? Because she came on a tirade, but her car was fly. That car was nice. But she all in black. She ain't wear white ever since. Ever since we first saw her. She all in black now. That means she on demon time. Exactly. So she also tells Charles, like, come on, get up. We got to go to Black and Beauty. That is the office that the family owns and the company. They sell perms, but the perm has been giving everybody cancer. So they have a huge lawsuit going on, but they came in for the business meeting. So all the family is there except Norman because he ain't walk in yet. So meanwhile, Olivia's early, but she's trying to get to the bottom of who the hell crashed and tried to take out Norman's wife. So she doesn't go to Roy. She goes to Olivia because Olivia seems to be the compassionate one. I told you, she is the devil herself. However, in front of the family, except her husband, they think she's this nice peacemaker. I'm like, girl. So Olivia goes to her like, listen, I need to know, was it Roy that hit this girl? And she's like, no. And I'm looking at Mallory like, she is asking the person that actually did it. And she's trying to get information. And Mallory, straight face, innocent, all day long. She plays that game like a fiddle. It's like she got two masks. So Roy comes in the office. And he's like, what you got to talk to my wife about? And Olivia don't have no smoke for him. She's just ready to leave. She's like, I'll talk to you later. And Charles is like, what happened? You don't have that same smoke for Roy? Olivia leaves. So now it's just Mallory and Roy up in that office. And they are just smiling but arguing because it's all of glass. But yet they can't stand each other half the time. And they're just smiling and cursing each other out like, you mother effer. And that's the way it looks. You piece of garbage. Shut the hell up. Pretty much that's. And she's like, give me a kiss. And he's like, no, bitch. Norman comes into the office. He makes a big scene about his wife. Olivia is telling Charles, stop jumping up in Norman's face. He will take you out. He will take you out. He's not to be trusted. Y'all don't even know who he is. But Charles is still like yelling. Even though Charles did nothing wrong, he still want to go toe to toe to Norman. However, now the father is there. You know, the father that was acting like this broke man at the strip club. His whole demeanor completely changes when he's around the family. He's very masculine, demanding, and authoritative. And I'm like, where's this man at? However, he insults his son, Charles, for not being straight. And I'm looking at him like, if that's not the cat calling the kettle, because you done been up at that club like every night, you practically might as well live in that club. Because every time I'm watching the show, every time Kimmy's there, he walks his behind in there trying to get a whiff of the dude. What's his name? Angel. I'm like shocked. Really? You gonna call your son names when you over there running amok up in that club? Speaking of being in the club, he goes there later on that night again for Angel. It's just like, all right. So Kimmy asked the older guy to do her a favor and check in at the hospital for her homegirl. Horace did not get a chance to do it, and Kimmy was walking around with a little attitude. However, she still keeps helping him and hooking him up with Angel on the side. So Kimmy finally gets a moment to run and sneak and visit her homegirl, and the bed is empty. And she's like, they're like, oh, she passed away. So now Kimmy is mad at the world. But she's especially mad at Horace because she believes that Horace is in charge of Jules and that for some reason she thinks Horace knows everything going on. And I'm like, why would you think that? He's been nothing but nice to you. Jules has been nothing but an asshole. It's like night and day going on. And this dude is very secretive. He don't even want people to know he's really up in there. And the fact that nobody knows who he is in that club, I would have questioned that. But because this girl don't talk, She can't get to the bottom of her own situation. On the same end, Mallory is sitting there ticked off and she wants some D in her life. The family lawyer is looking all fine and stuff like that. She's like, come out with me and let's have a glass of wine. She sits there and was like, are you attracted to me? And pretty much he's not, because your man ain't straight either. He's dealing with Charles on the side. So he wants no piece of her. He doesn't say this to Mallory, but he pretty much just turned her down. And he's about to leave when she said, no, 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 you sit down. I'm going to get up and leave. We're not going to embarrass me. Image means everything to her, which tells me somewhere at the end of this season, she is going to get highly publicly embarrassed, because we know her weakness is embarrassment in the public eye. So we're going to see what's happening with that. Mallory still wanting to feel wanted. On the ride home, she takes her security. She's like, listen, drive me home. The security was sitting there talking to her assistant, and I guess they had something going on. But when Mallory walked up to them, she kind of broke that mess up and was like, you walk home. I don't know how you're going to get home, but you get home. And the security guard, he's coming with me. The security guard is all feeling himself. She tells him, pull a car over and come sit in the back with her. She wants him to seduce her, but she don't know how to say it, or she don't want to say it. But he does, they do. And meanwhile, the assistant is in some car watching from the sidelines. And I'm like she got one up on her. For some reason, I don't like the assistant. Even though Mallory is a piece of work, I don't like the assistant. I don't know why, but she just really, really rubs me the wrong way. So Mallory gets back home after she got hit off in the car by the security. The assistant pulls up in another car, and she asks Mallory, did you enjoy yourself? Meanwhile, she's trying to tuck in Mallory's shirt. And Mallory's like, what the hell are you girl, if you don't get the hell away from me. I don't know. But anyway, that's episodes 1 through 4. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. Do your girl a favor. And yo, what do y'all think about this mess? Let's chat down below, and I'll have the next 4 released right after this.